All right, let's wrap it up here, y'all, with the Grizzlies offseason. Memphis Grizzlies, of course, are no longer in the playoffs. Very disappointing into their season. A lot has happened over the course of the season, to be honest, from John Morant um, injuries to John Morant in the club to the Bane big toe injury, Steven Adams, his questionable injuries, Zaire's poor performance, coaching confusion. It's so much happened, and even in the midst of that, they did have the second seed out in the Western Conference. They of course got bounced out by the Los Angeles Lakers in 6 games. I know y'all gonna have it on starting five later on this week, but of course we still a basketball podcast over here as well too. And so, what do y'all project, or I won't say project, but what do y'all think the Grizzlies need to do to get out of purgatory in terms of like getting the 2 seed and then losing and disappointing faster? Because I had weeks ago, I said anything short of a Western Conference Finals is like no, that is a failure. Yes, as an organization, as a player, for what y'all did last year, you're supposed to progress, and they did not progress at all. I'm gonna just point to coaching number one. We can get to Dylan Brooks. That speaks for itself, in my opinion. I'm not gonna get into Dylan Brooks. I don't have to pile him anymore. He gone. He should be gone. I'm gonna say this right now. Today at 7:11 p.m. April 30th. If Dylan Brooks is a Memphis Grizzly, y'all got it. I'm an NBA fan. Y'all got it. Until he off the team, and I did the same shit with Jalen Reagor and the Eagles. I said I'm not watching any Eagles games until y'all get that man off my team. And they got him off the team before week 1. I said, there you go. And what happened during the season? Lost in Super Bowl. That's exactly. So if Dylan Brooks is on this roster next year, I'm out. I'm out until further notice. I'm not doing it. I'm not watching that mess again. I don't care if he performed well in the regular season. When the season comes, when the postseason comes, he starts breaking. I ain't doing it. I'm not doing it. So getting into the coaching problem, Taylor Jenkins is not an in-game coach. That's okay. He's a young coach. But you better for damn sure get somebody on your coaching staff that can help you with X's and O's during the game. I'm not talking about out of bounds plays. I'm not talking out of timeout play. I'm talking about they just scored and they up by 5 points. I need a guaranteed bucket on offense. What can I run to get an easy button bucket? Can I run a pick and roll for Jaren, a pick and pop for Jaren? Can I run some clear out action for Ja where I bring the defense in, pass it out to the corner to Bane or Kennard? There has to be something coming from the coaching staff in the game to get guaranteed buckets to stop the bleeding. That's one. 2, why are we continuing to let Dylan Brooks shoot threes as a coaching staff, right? This goes back to even in high school. In high school, if I'm shooting shots and I'm bricking and I'm getting my ass waxed on defense, she just did it. Come sit beside me because you not had anything to this damn group project at all. Even beyond that, let's say if you play NBA 2K, right? If you playing Pro-Am and you brick your first 2 shots in the game, I bet you ain't shooting no more. You don't need to be shooting no more before you get kicked out of the lobby. Too know about that. If I shoot 2 threes and I brick both of them, I'm not shooting no more. I'm like, let me pass the ball around. I got to get warmed up. You know what I'm saying? So for the Grizzlies organization, whether that's Zach Kleiman, whether that's Taylor Jenkins, for them to continue to enable Dylan Brooks to play in the game, not be that good on defense and be horrible on offense and constantly give him minutes, that is coaching malpractice. That's organizational malpractice. And that's why I said I don't know who to blame, if that's Jenkins or if that's Kleiman. Who is sending down the message, hey, play Dylan Brooks, let him shoot 15 shots, he making 2 of them. I don't know who's doing that. I don't know who's doing that. The Warriors made that change to put Draymond on the bench. He come in and score 20 because it's a change. It's a change for the other team got to account for. If the Lakers know I'm playing the exact same lineup that shot like shit in games 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, we ain't got to change much. We got LeBron James and AD. We're going to beat them the same way we beat them throughout the entire series. So there is no coaching chess match between Taylor Jenkins and Darvin Ham. Darvin Ham ain't that good of a coach, ladies and gentlemen. He's not. They're from the same coaching tree with Coach Bud. He ain't killing them like that, which is why I think
LeBron is a better coach, though.
Exactly. So it's like Darvin Ham ain't X and Owen niggas like that. You know what I'm saying? So I will give Jenkins one more year, hopefully without Dylan Brooks. If the same mess happens with Jenkins next year, they got to go in a different direction and get some type of veteran coach in here or a coach that's going to do X's and O's. My favorite option is Becky Hammond. Becky Hammond she should be an NBA coach right now. She interviewed with the Raptors. She interviewed with the Raptors, of course, and I don't know if she's gonna take it or not. But she is a pure, what up, Aiden? She is a pure X's and O's coach. And not only that, you gonna get coached on the sideline. She will get in your ass and be like, hey, you need to get your shit together. I don't know if Jenkins does it. Is he afraid of Dylan Brooks or what? But somebody got to be able to get in the players when they are not performing up to standard. So for the Grizzlies, I think the most important thing is get Dylan Brooks off your team. You have to do that. And then two, we need some sort of coaching, I don't know, workshop with Taylor Jenkins, or you need a veteran on your staff that's going to help with X's and O's. Otherwise, you're going to have the same mess next year. And that's all I got to say.
Savage, you asked, who was encouraging Dylan Brooks, and that question was answered months ago, and it was answered by the players. Ja Morant literally said, hey, we encourage it. So that kind of, it goes in definitely into, I won't put too much into climbing on that reasoning why Dylan Brooks shoot. It's coaching. You know what I'm saying? Was hoping for Zaire to make bang like, yeah. Now Zaire Williams, I was with him. I kind of rock with him. We can kind of blame it on coaching too. Like why the only game he played was the last game when we got our asses kicked. Like if we need some kind of defender at least, like why he's not in the game. But that's neither here and there. Like I said, to answer your question about Dylan, I'm not finna sit on here and pound Dylan again. I already prayed to the basketball gods for them to allow the Grizzlies to not have him on the team next season. He's an unrestricted free agent. So bye. I've been saying my buys to him. I said my buys to him 2 years ago. So the feeling that you have, Savage, is the feeling I've been having for 2 years. The only difference is I know how to continue to be a fan of my team, shots fired. But like I grew up a Grizz fan, you know what I'm saying? Like I grew up, like I remember going to the Pyramid games. I remember going to sleep watching the Grizzlies. You know what I'm saying? Like I love that team. So for us to have a player like Dylan Brooks, who I've been calling overrated offensively, defensively too, in my opinion, deuces.
I say this real quick too about being a fan of the team. I'm still a fan, obviously, but I'm not gonna waste my time watching Dylan Brooks shoot 15. That's why I went to bed the other day. I'm not watching Game 6 because I'm not watching the same. I'm not. No, I need.
You better than me. I think that's what it is. You better than me, man. You're better than me, and I aspire to be. Like I want to be able to stop watching the Grizzlies, but I'm gonna rock with them. But what I will say is that climbing all eyes on you, because we need to know as a franchise what direction are we gonna go in. If Dylan Brooks is not on the team, then that means we have no defenders on our team outside of Jaren Jackson and Steve-O. Brandon Clark damn near gonna miss the whole next season. So outside of them two, what defenders do we have? Are we gonna let them go? Are we gonna keep the same team? Who are we gonna bring in? What kind of veterans are we gonna bring in if we're gonna bring any? If we don't bring anybody in the offseason, Grizz fans, like I told y'all, Game 6. So at this time, you might probably just want to trust in what I got to say about the Grizzlies. We probably be in the play-in if we don't add anybody on this team next season. I don't want us to be in the play-in next season because if Zach Kleiman don't bring in for the Grizz, then that lets me know, hey, we're going to continue to develop as a young team. Cool with me. But a young team bring in young players. So that means you're just going to go and, get somebody in the lottery. Cool. But if you're in win now mode, which I believe that the Grizz are, because we don't know the career span of Ja Morant because his decision making, we need to be in win now mode. We were, it could have been in the Western Conference Finals. In my opinion, we could have been in the Western Conference Finals beating the healthy Warriors last season. We need to build off of that momentum instead of going back. But if we go back as, a team, I was completely understand. If Dylan Brooks is on this team next season, that lets me know exactly what you want as an organization. And it's mediocrity. Point blank period. Because he's unrestricted, meaning you going to throw some major bucks at him. He already had one big contract, which I guess in a way he kind of earned. He's going to want a upgrade. The Grizz, man, I pay this man no Jordan Poole kind of money. Oh, you not watching? Oh, I'm bashing him every chance I get. And I'm going to still rep him. I'm going to be the most hateful Grizz fan you ever know. But Zach Kleiman, what are you going to do? I gave a suggestion. Pat Bev and DeMar DeRozan, two of my top Grizz players that need to be on this team. You get them, well, we damn sure ain't missing the playoffs with Pat Bev on the team. And now you answer the question of a closer. We need a closer. We need somebody that can close games for us. I like what I'm seeing in Desmond Bane. His game is promising. But hey, we need more. We need a pure bucket. That's what we need. He do like Shay right talking about Dylan. Man, Candy, you understand my strong, I ain't gonna say hate.
Talking about climbing. Zach climbing today at a media availability where he was talking.
He didn't mention them pretty much.
Yeah, they were asking him like, what's the future for Dylan Brooks as a Grizzly, and he was like, I'm not speaking on Brooks right now. But then like 5 seconds later, he spoke on Xavier Tillman, saying he wants Xavier Tillman here long term. He wants Bang here long term. So that is very damning of Dylan Brooks' future as a Memphis Grizzly. Like, I don't even want him here as a veteran's minimum. Like, he can go. Like, I don't need a sign trade. Just go. Just, hey, amen, God bless. We'll pray for you on the way out. But you got to go. You got to go.
Let me say this, and I'll try to be as quick as I can. Zach Kleiman has shown us who he is. He's not going to go get veteran players. He's going to continue to draft and move up in the draft and get younger players. Now, if he changes this next season, great. But he went to go get Zion Williams, but didn't give him a chance, right? He got Desmond Bane. He gets players throughout draft and signs those players that we can. Brandon Clark. Steven Adams, Jonas Valanciunas, that's a wash. You know what I mean? It is what it is. If the Grizzlies want to make that next step, hold on, let me back up a little bit. Let me be honest for everyone real quick. And I'm a border on a line, but we all agree about. If the Minnesota Timberwolves were coached by someone else last season, and the same thing would have happened to the Grizzlies this season, we would be calling for Taylor Jenkins' job at this point. There's no way that you're in multiple games and you're down 20 plus points to the Minnesota Timberwolves with what offense do they have? So what development is Taylor Jenkins giving you? None, realistically. It's Ja, it's Bane, and it's Triple J. Thank God Triple J got, Defensive Player of the Year. Desmond literally could have been like most improved like last season, but I know just the clause. He has to be there 3 years. So the problem to me is not Zach Kleiman. It's coaching. Because this series could have went a lot differently if Taylor Jenkins would have got off his ass and called a timeout with 1 minute and like 7 seconds left with being up by 1 point, I believe, or 2 points in crypto arena, whatever they call it, and put in who? Luke Kennard, and provided some spacing before they went into overtime. The problem is coaching to me, gentlemen. But if we're going to address this, if we're going to give Zach Kleiman a task, Zach Kleiman, here's your task. You need to get rid of Tyus Jones. You need to bunch him with Steven Adams. And you might need to throw in Brandon Clark. Because if you want a closer and you want something else on top of that, look at the draft, look at the free agency pool. Ain't nobody for real. So you're going to need to get someone with a sense of urgency, and it's only going to happen if you trade. But the problem that we're going to have with this is Zach Kleiman is not a person that's going to trade. All we got is Luke Kennard and we got Pat Bev, Danny Green. I mean, who really got? But we haven't really traded big contracts. Tyus Jones has a very tradable contract. Brandon Clark, very tradable contract. Steven Adams, who has proven with us as Grizzlies, he's not for the playoffs. So it's for the regular season. But again, are we lacing them up to win 50 games and he gets sent home in the first, second round? No. You lace them up to win the 50 and to get a good seed and to play you can in the playoffs. So 3 contracts worth millions of dollars. Tyus Jones is definitely an elite point guard, elite backup point guard that could be starting somewhere. Someone's got to be knocking for that contract. So those are 3 players. You need to put them on the trading block immediately and see what you can get.
Yeah, man. They got a long off season to figure stuff out. Something has to be done. Something definitely has to be.